first of all, let me just point out that starting from that expression for fx for the Gaussian distribution, I was trying to evaluate the meaning of these constants a and b. There, as you had pointed out rightly, here I had written root over z, that should be root over 2z, but what I didn't point out was that here I had written b root over z like that, but it should be b divided by root over 2z. So you can make the change there. That's why it's coming in this way. Anyway, so we have landed up with this particular expression for the Gaussian distribution. Sigma is the standard deviation and mu is the expectation. From that, if you want to find out the cumulative distribution function, this is the expression. You have to integrate the density function over minus infinity to small x. So I have just substituted the density function here in this integral. That expression, it doesn't have any closed form expression for this integral. That means it is not possible to evaluate this integral analytically. What you can do based on the different values of small x, you can carry out numerical integration of this expression. All right. As for example, by Simpson's rule, or you may find it from some table. Obviously, if some tables are available, those tables have been, made based on numerical integration. But if it is available in the form of table, then this task of numerical integration, that is not there. Task is eased to a certain extent. Here, now, this is the nature of the density function for different values of sigma. You can see here that sigma determines the spread of the function, the width or breadth of this density function. And the height is also determined by sigma. So with decrease in the value of sigma, what will happen? The base will shrink and the height will increase. In the limit, as sigma tends to 0, it will become an impulse function. That is true for all density functions. So you can start from here and write down. The formation of a table, there is a problem. Because it is a two-parameter distribution, capital F, if it is to be evaluated for some small x, then it will be different for different combinations of sigma and mu. Therefore, you cannot form a table if you don't introduce certain constraints. The constraint that is introduced is that from the density function small fx, you land up with a normalized form, which is known as standard normal Gaussian distribution. How? You set mu equal to 0 and sigma equal to 1. Therefore, if you have a new random variable z, whose mu is 0 and sigma is 1, and it's a Gaussian random variable, now you can have a unique table for capital Fx. So we are moving towards that case. Height is 0.399 by sigma. Now, because this Gaussian distribution density function, it is symmetrical about the expectation mu. Therefore, what will happen? All odd-ordered central moments of Gaussian random variable, odd-ordered central moments of Gaussian random variable, they will be 0. Third central moment will be 0. Fourth central moment will be 0, like that. Sorry, third central moment, fifth central moment, seventh central moment, like that. That is the cumulative distribution function. This is the nature. From the expression, it's clear that for x equal to mu, fx will be 0.5. Why will that happen? What is capital Fx evaluated for x equal to mu? It is the area under this density function. Area under the density function over minus infinity to mu. And because it has this bell-shaped curve, it is symmetric about x equal to mu. Area under small fx from minus infinity to mu, it will be 0.5. And the area over mu to x equal to plus infinity, that will be 0.5. So that the two add up to 1 as the total area under small fx. So that's why capital Fx, its value for x equal to mu will be 0.5. It can be shown that for x equal to mu plus sigma, it's 0.841, and for x equal to mu minus sigma, it will be 0.159. So some observations are next made in connection with this probability density function curves. some important points that can be noted. It's amply clear that the exact shape and position of the density function can be specified solely in terms of mu and sigma. Shape means it will retain its bell-shaped nature. That is, there is no doubt it will not depend on mu and sigma. But shape in the sense that the height, the width, etc. The location is determined by mu and the height of the density function, and the spread or width of the density function, that is determined by sigma. There is only one maximum and it occurs at the mean value. That means small fx is symmetric about the mean value, the expectation. Width of the probability density function is directly proportional to the standard deviation sigma. The width of 2 sigma, that means the span extending from mu minus sigma to mu plus sigma, that refers to the width of 2 sigma refers to that fact, the spread from mu minus sigma to mu plus sigma. So this width occurs at the points where the height is 0.607 of the maximum value. These points are also the points of maximum absolute slope. So the slope here, this slope and that slope, it's a maximum somewhere here, mu minus sigma and mu plus sigma. There the slope is maximum. Slope magnitude is maximum.
স্যার ফোর্থ পয়েন্টটা একবার দেখাবেন?
Point 607 of the maximum value. What is the maximum value? It's 0.4 by sigma. So 0.4 by sigma times 0.607. At mu plus sigma, this is the value of fx, small fx at mu plus sigma and mu minus sigma.
Yes, sir. Done.
That is, I have already pointed out the peak value of the PDF. It's inversely proportional to the standard deviation. And the point related to the convergence to an impulse function is also there. So every probability density function can be an approximation for the impulse, Dirac delta function. The Dirac delta function, originally it was not, when Dirac proposed this function in his work on quantum mechanics, the mathematicians at first, they didn't accept the Dirac delta function as a valid function because according to them, it doesn't satisfy many properties of a function. So there was some reluctance on their part. They didn't accept it as a function. Finally, they accepted it as a distribution, function. Anyway, things have changed, but still there is some very orthodox people who don't call it a function. As for example, there is a book by Bracewell on Fourier transforms, a very famous book. There they have a chapter, he has a chapter on this Dirac delta function. The heading of the chapter is the impulse symbol. All right, not the impulse function. If you have written up to that, I'll proceed.
Yes, sir. Done.
Yes, sir.
Here I have just shown that with change in the value of mu, the location of the distribution changes. So nothing very special. Now some results I have pointed out here for a normal random variable. The probability of the random variable lying in the range mu minus sigma to mu plus sigma, that is 0.6827, obviously obtained by numerical integration. Probability of capital X lying in this range mu minus 2 sigma to mu plus 2 sigma, that is 0.9545, and the probability of capital X lying in this range mu minus 3 sigma to mu plus 3 sigma is 0.9973, almost close to 1. So this is plus minus sigma about mu, that is the probability of lying in that range, plus minus 2 sigma plus minus 2 sigma. That means in all 4 sigma spread, the probability of X having this spread is 0.9545, and this is called 6 sigma. You will come across this term 6 sigma in many cases. So that is the origin. Probability of X lying in this range mu minus 3 sigma to mu plus 3 sigma. So in all a span of 6 sigma. Therefore, the probability of the Gaussian random variable lying outside this range extending from minus 3 sigma to plus 3 sigma about mu, the probability of lying capital X lying outside that range is very, very remote. Only in case of some rare events can X lie outside this range. হয়েছে?
Yes, sir. Done.
So I have drawn here. So this is small fx. So that is mu. So this curve, it is small fx when this is the axis for small fx. Mu plus minus sigma, mu plus minus 2 sigma, mu plus minus 3 sigma. All right. I have drawn here fz also, where fz has mu equal to, এক মিনিট দাঁড়াও তো দেখে নি একটু। Just 1 minute. Just let me first modify this thing. First, I am introducing standard normal random variable. How? I am defining it in this way: standard normal random variable as z equal to x minus mu divided by sigma. So z is a Gaussian random variable with expectation of z equal to 0 and sigma z equal to 1. All right. So this is called a standard Gaussian random variable. Therefore, what happens to the density function? It is small fz. Just in the expression for small fx, if you replace, if you just insert mu equal to 0 and sigma equal to 1 and change the variable notation, the symbol of the random variable from x to z, you get this expression. So capital Fz is given by this expression. Gamma is a dummy variable. It doesn't appear in the final result. Finally, we want to have an capital Fz given by this integral. Point is, why have we made this change? Now, because those parameters mu and sigma, they don't appear in this expression. Therefore, capital Fz, you can evaluate it numerically and then formulate a table. That is the motivation behind introducing the standard Gaussian random variable. So this is small fz. Now it's centered around z equal to 0. It's an even function. So in this case, for the random Gaussian random variable z, standard Gaussian random variable, the all odd ordered moments and odd ordered central moments, they will have 0 values because it's an even function of z. Height is now 0.399. Earlier, with sigma not equal to 1, it was 0.399 by sigma. Need not label this z-axis, these markings. Whatever I have said here, this part, I have depicted in this figure, that is to follow, this one. So just see here, I have considered two cases. When this is the axis, this plot is for small fx. When this ordinate axis is marked in red, it represents small fz. So I have labeled it in terms of x as well as in terms of z here. X equal to mu minus sigma to mu plus sigma means z equal to -1 to +1. X equal to mu minus 2 sigma to mu plus 2 sigma means z equal to -2 to +2. X equal to mu minus 3 sigma to mu plus 3 sigma means z equal to -3 to +3. Just see here that this gray area total area under this fx over marked in gray. What is that area? 0.6826. Just come to this case. 6827 or 6826 anyway. Mu minus 2 sigma to mu plus 2 sigma, 0.9545. That means total area from here to there, sum of the areas in yellow and in gray, this total area, that is this 9545 or whatever it may be, 9545. So if it is 9545, you can subtract 0.6826, you get some value, then you split it up into two parts. So probability of capital X lying in this range, mu minus 2 sigma to mu minus sigma is 0.1359. Probability of capital X lying in the range mu plus 2 sigma, mu plus sigma to mu plus 2 sigma, that is also 0.1359. Now, probability of X lying in the range mu minus 3 sigma to mu plus 3 sigma, what is that? It is the all this area marked in green, yellow and gray, and that value is 0.9973. So you can easily understand how we get these particular values of the different areas.
Sir, done.
Done. And from symmetry, we also find that probability of x greater than mu is equal to probability of x less than mu equal to 0.5. So these observations will help you in solving certain problems. and that is capital Fz. So this is small fz. Why am I just repeating this small fz? Because I want to derive an expression for the characteristic function. Characteristic function, you may recall that it is the Fourier transform of the density function with the sign of omega reversed. Omega sine of omega replaced by minus omega. Omega replaced by minus omega. So what will be the nature of the characteristic function? Start with that basic expression for characteristic function and let's see what emerges. So characteristic function, we label it as phi z with argument j omega. This is fz times e to the power j omega z. So that product is to be integrated over minus infinity to plus infinity. If you club these exponential functions together, you will get e to the power minus within brackets z square minus twice j omega z by 2. All right. Or phi z j omega, if you just take out e to the power minus omega square by 2 outside this integral, because that is not a function of z. If you have e to the power minus omega square by 2 here, what will appear here will be e to the power omega square by 2. So that is appearing here. So you again club it with the exponential function. And what you get, this means z minus j omega whole squared, and you have this 2 in the denominator. Now have a look at the integrand. It's akin with a properly normalized Gaussian function, and because you're integrating over all possible values of z, therefore the result of this integration will be 1. So if that is true, then phi z j omega, it will be equal to e to the power minus omega square by 2. Once you have obtained the expression for the characteristic function, how will you obtain the moment generating function? How will you obtain the moment generating function from the characteristic function?
Sir, putting the value of omega as we know A is equal to j omega, so
So
putting
replacing omega equal to
in
s by
terms of
j.
S. Yeah, yeah, in terms of S.
Replacing omega with s by j, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Another thing is, if this is for the standard Gaussian random variable, how will you obtain the characteristic function for a Gaussian random variable whose mu is not 0 and sigma is not equal to 1? How will you obtain that? That means for small fx. You have to use the scaling and shifting property of Fourier transform to get phi x j omega. Because just see here, mu not equal to 0 means there is a shifting, and sigma not equal to 1 means there is a scaling of x, scaling of the independent variable. So that will be phi x j omega. You may check. And mxs is obtained simply by replacing omega with s by j in the expression for phi x j omega. So that is the nature, e to the power mu x plus sigma s square sigma square by 2. Using this moment generating function, you can obtain the moments and also the central moments. Central moments can be obtained simply if you consider phi z, also the central moments, or mx. I'm interested in central moment of x. So you have to use this mxs. So that will be 0 for odd k, and for even k, if you evaluate, you will find that this will be the nature of the kth central moment. 1 into 3 into 5 in this way up to k minus 1 times sigma to the power k. For even k. So I pointed out the motivation for uh, considering the standard normal random variable so as to prepare a table. I'll just show you one possible table. This is for fz, capital Fz. And see here, it extends from z equal to 0 to 2.99. All right. Why it is up to 2.99, or you may say 3, you can well understand. That's why we introduce this concept of 6 sigma. The possibility or probability of z being greater than 3 or less than minus 3, that is very rare. So z starts from 0 and extends up to 2.99. So this is a table for capital Fz. This is small z. Capital Fz means the probability of capital Z less than equal to small z. Just see here, this is the value for z equal to 0. You know it will be 0.5. So this is the value. To the left of mu. Mu is 0 here for z. The area under small fz. This is the value for 0.01. This is the value of fz for 0.02 in this way up to 0.09. Then this is the value point for z equal to 0.1. This one for 0.11, 0.12, 0.13, like that. If z falls in between any two tabulated values, obviously you can carry out linear interpolation. I have pointed out that this is one possibility. You will also find tables for z lying in the range minus 3 to 0.00. Tables can also be made for capital Z greater than or equal to small z. All right, there are several possibilities. So whatever may be the type of table that you are provided with, you should be able to handle that type of table. Once you understand, grasp the exact properties of Gaussian function, you will be able to do that. Now come to a problem. I'll complete this problem and then stop today. I thought that I'll be able to complete it in 1 hour anyway. Let's see. Problem is given in this way. You have been asked to consider the life of a type of electric lamps as a normally distributed random variable. And the statement of the problem states that the lighting department of a particular city, they installed 2000 such lamps having an average life of 1000 burning hours with a standard deviation of 200 hours. So what you have been asked to find out based on this data, how many lamps might be expected to fail in first 700 burning hours? How many lamps are expected to fail between 900 and 1300 burning hours? After what period of burning hours would we expect 10% of 10% lamps to have failed? Three parts. First, write down the problem, then I'll proceed. Solution is very simple. You have to use that table, nothing else. Not only you have to use these tables, you have to clearly understand the symmetry property of this Gaussian distribution. Only then you'll be able to solve this problem very easily.
স্যার এবার একটু নিচে
কি কোন নিচে?
স্ক্রল আপ করতে, হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে।
ওপরে কি হয়েছে? হয়েছে?
হ্যাঁ এই পার্টটা হয়ে গেছে।
So first one is anyway. What will be the first step? Mu and sigma have been information about them have been given. So from X, you have to move on to Z. The standard normal Gaussian, the standard normal random variable. Sorry. So mu is 1000 hours, sigma is 200 hours. So if you try to solve part A of this problem, what is the probability that capital X is less than equal to 700? That's what you have to find out. Capital X less than equal to 700 means,
So Z is coming as minus 3 by 2.
yes, that's what Z will come out as. Minus 1.5, isn't it? Now, what to do? You don't have that minus part in the table. Oh. If you refer to this curve, you will see that this is the nature of small fz. You have x z equal to 0 here. This is minus 1.5. This is plus 1.5. And you are interested in finding out this area, capital F with argument minus 1.5. That area, due to symmetry of fz, will be same as the shaded area here. So what is that shaded area? It is the total area under small fz. That means 1 minus this area. Just follow my cursor. 1 minus this area. All right. What does this area mean? আমি আবার নিয়ে যাচ্ছি এটাকে। What does that represent? It represents the probability of z less than 1.5. That means it is capital F with argument 1.5. This area is therefore 1 minus capital F with argument 1.5. So that is equal to capital F with argument minus 1.5. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
That capital F with argument 1.5, you can get it from the table. How do you get that? It comes out as 0.9332. Let's refer to the table. 1.5 means here, just see, 0.9332. So I have placed here 0.9332, 1 minus 0.9332 means 0.0668. Therefore, the expected number of failures in first 700 burning hours is 2000 into this fraction, comes out as 133.6. That means 134 lamps. Complete writing this part, then I'll. If anyone have any confusion, please let me know. Won't you ask me how is that probability value related to the number of lamps? Because what I have stated is that the average life of lamp, each lamp, average life of that particular variety of lamps is 1000 burning hours. You may think in this way that several such identical lamps, think of an experiment, several such identical lamps have been put into operation under new condition, and you find that over a span extending up to the 700 years, 700 burning hours, you find that 0.0668 into number of lamps they have failed, then doesn't it mean that the probability of the life less than equal to 700, that is 0.0668? That is the meaning. Have you drawn it, this figure?
Sir, yes.
Next, you are asked to find out the probability that X lies in this range, 900 to 1300 hours. X equal to 900 means Z equal to minus 0.5. X equal to 1300 means Z equal to 1.5. All right. So you have to find this probability, Z lying in the range minus 0.5 to 1.5. How will you do that? That probability has been shown by this shaded area or hatched area. See here, that area finds the represents the probability of capital X lying in the range 900 to 1300 hours, or small z in this range minus 0.5 to plus 1.5. How would you find out this area from the table that has been given to you? Split it up into two parts, A1 and A2. A1 is this area, the area to the left of z equal to 0, and A2 is the shaded area to the right of z equal to 0. A1 is the shaded area to the left of z equal to 0. A2 is the shaded area to the right of z equal to 0. How will you find out A1? And how will you find out A2? Just
Sir,
1 minute. একবার দাঁড়াও। বলো, কি বলছিলে?
আগের স্টেপটা ফলো করলে প্রথমটা স্যার 1 মাইনাস A1 টা বার করতে পারি 1 মাইনাস f of 0.5. f of 0.5 তো টেবিলে আছে।
ঠিক আছে।
আর সিমিলারলি আচ্ছা, এটা যেহেতু পজিটিভ তো f of 1.5 টাও টেবিল থেকে বার করতে পারবো।
হুম। ছবি আঁকা হয়েছিল তো সবাইয়ের? F 0.5 equal to 0.6915 that we obtained from the table. 0.5 means this 6915. So F 0.5 is 0.6915. Therefore, F minus 0.9 will be 1 minus F 0.15. That means 0.3085. So that is obtained. F evaluated for Z equal to minus 0.5 and F equal to 1.5, that is equal to 0.9332. So F 1.5 minus F minus 0.5 becomes 0.6247. Therefore, expected number of failures will be 2000 into 0.6247. That means 1250 lamps. What about the third part? What are you supposed to find out in the third part? After what period of burning hours would we expect 10% lamps to have failed? So the probability value has been given, isn't it? Why am I writing it as capital F with argument minus Z? Because here the probability value has been given to be less than 0.5. F minus Z is 1 minus Fz. So here F minus Z is 0.1. Therefore, Fz, which is 1 minus F minus Z, will be 0.9. Now with this value of capital Fz, you may refer to the table and find out Z, isn't it?
স্যার এফ অফ মাইনাস জেডটা কেন নিচ্ছি আরেকবার বলুন।
Z is symmetric about, I mean, fz is symmetric about z equal to 0. If that is the case, area under capital F evaluated for z equal to 0. Z equal to 0, what will be that value? For negative values of z, f, capital F will be less than 0.5, isn't it? This is small fz. All right, z equal to 0. It's symmetric about z equal to 0. So if z lies to the left, if z is negative, only then the value of capital Fz, that means area under small fz, can be less than 0.5. Area from z equal to minus infinity up to z equal to 0, that is 0.5, isn't it?
Yes.
Therefore, if the area value, if z is negative, then the area value will be less than 0.5. So that's why I have considered it as negative. Do you get my point?
Yes, sir.
If instead of this 10%, if it were 60%, 0.6, I would have considered z as, I would have considered it as plus z.
Yeah, symmetric about 0.
Mm-hmm. This value of z from the table, it comes out as minus 1.2817. How? Let us see. 0.9. So you refer to the table. 0.9 probability value, that is somewhere here. This one, say. So it is 1.29. Between 1.28 to 1.29, something like that. All right. So by linear interpolation, it came out as 1.2817. Do you understand? That is
Yes,
from
sir.
the table.
Yes.
So z equal to 1.2817. Therefore, minus z is minus 1.2817. Now from this minus z, you have to move on to x. You know the value of mu and sigma. The value of x, it will come out as 744. 744 hours. It's better if you go through it once more, if you find free time. Okay, let's stop today. Can I log out?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.